Right, welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know why I'm doing an accent. Welcome back to the channel. Um, I haven't recorded in a while, so I'm kind of out of whack with this camera angle. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Um, I reacted to God as a Weapon by Following in Reverse, and I haven't really uploaded anything else since Sleep Token's album. So today, we are doing 3 very scary true someone's outside horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Re-uploading or translating this content on YouTube or TikTok is not allowed. This is a reaction, and as reactors, we obviously tell y'all this is by Mr. Nightmare. Alright, let's get it. Shit, where's my volume knob?
When I was 12 years old, my mom had just started trusting me.
I'm so used to my Xbox wireless headset. The microphone on it is trash, which is why I use my old headphones for videos, because the microphone's really good.
Enough to leave me home alone, so this had to be when I was 12. We live in a peaceful and ordinarily safe little town. Quiet streets, spacious yards, friendly neighbors, and a charming little village with a bunch of shops and restaurants. It really is not a place where you need to look over your shoulder at night if you're walking alone or anything like that. It just feels safe, which is part of the reason my parents trusted me home alone at such a young age. I still live with my parents today in the same house. The night in question, it was a weekend. My parents were leaving me home alone for the night. When we were really little, my grandparents would watch my older sister and I, but since my sister wasn't home for whatever reason, and since I was kind of old enough to be left alone at that age, my parents decided to just trust me by myself. My parents had us young, so they've always been a bit more active in the sense that they'd often travel or go out on the weekends with their friends. They left me some money for pizza for dinner. It was the ideal night for a 12 or 13.
Man, is it just me, or has delivery pizza gotten disgusting? I live in Florida, in northeastern Florida, and I don't want to say where I live, but it's the biggest city in the country. You can find it. All the delivery pizza around here is trash. Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. My favorite is typically Papa John's, and you can't tell me otherwise. Papa John's is the GOAT. But Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut. What's the other one? There's a fourth one in it. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's. Little Caesars? Is Little Caesars in that? In the 4? I don't know. But even Little Caesars got nasty. It may depend on location. Like, if y'all live in Wisconsin or some shit, it may be good where you are. But all the pizza here is... it's unfortunate.
Year-old. House to myself, video games all night, and pizza for dinner. I used to be obsessed with James Bond video games when I was a kid, so I was playing some
You are older than me.
game called Nightfire for like my 3rd playthrough on my PS2. After I finished the game again, I decided to order the pizza.
Nightfire?
There was a pizza place right by our house called Gianni's. It's been closed for years now, but it was one of my family's go-to pizzerias. I ordered a regular pie. At the age of 12, I could easily eat 3 slices by myself. My mom told me to wrap the leftover slices in tin.
It's weird. I used to be a lot fatter when I was a teenager, but yeah, I could put down food when I was a teenager. Now that I am grown, I mean, I can eat a decent amount, but I don't know what was wrong with us as teenagers, but we could eat. We could eat. I don't understand it.
Foil and put them in the fridge. I switched out discs for another video game in the meantime while I waited for the pizza, and when the doorbell finally rang, I hurried downstairs with the $20 bill my parents left me. My mom told me to tip $4. The pizza place was like 3 blocks away, so honestly, it wasn't a bad tip, especially for the time. The delivery driver was some 30-something.
PS2? Yeah, $4 tip during PS2 era, yeah. I mean, most people tip, yeah, if you get like a $10 pizza or something, you tip 5, that's a good tip. I mean, yeah. Um, yeah.
Year old looking guy. Though
PS2 was 2002? 1? 2000? I forget when the PS2 came out, but yeah, that's a good tip for 2000,
he
early
looked a little
2000s.
rough. Like he had a really long and gross
I'm
beard.
curious
He
now.
also wore glasses and was wearing a black trucker's hat. I gave him the 20 and asked for the specific change. As he handed me the box and counted the change, he looked up at me.
Holy shit, the PS2 is older than me. March 4th, 2000. I was born in December 2000. That's crazy.
And then looked past me into the house and said, "You alone here?" I knew it was an odd, creepy question, and my parents taught me well about being wary of strangers. I said
The PS2 came to the American market in October 2000.
my parents are on their way home. A stupid answer in retrospect.
March in
I
Japan.
could have just said no. But I knew he was asking because, first of all, there were no cars in the driveway, and the fact that a kid was accepting the pizza at the door instead of an adult. After he handed me the change, I closed the door. I ate in the kitchen, probably had 3 slices, and then wrapped up the rest of them and put them in the fridge. I went back upstairs and played my other James Bond PS2 game, Agent Under Fire. I liked this one less than Nightfire, but it was still good. Hours go by of me playing.
Never played any of
It
them.
was probably 11 o'clock when the doorbell rang. Naturally, thinking it was my parents, I rushed downstairs to the door. I said through the door, "Mom? Dad?" But an unfamiliar voice on the other side said, "Hey, I need help." They said they need to use a phone.
Hell no.
I said, "Who is this?" And he repeated that he just needs to use a
Hell no.
phone. I didn't want to peek through the window because, quite honestly, I was scared. I decided to go upstairs and ignore it. I knew from common sense alone that opening that door would be a horrible, horrible idea. I was walking up the stairs, which are directly in front of the front door, when the man outside banged on the door, and I heard him say, "Wait, please, I need help." What that meant was that he saw me. He was watching through the glass at the top of the door. I turned around, and though it was dark on the front porch, I could still see the outline of the man's head. Though I couldn't see his eyes, it was obvious that he was staring back at me. I ran upstairs and ran to my parents' room. The only house phone that was upstairs was in my parents' room, so I went to the phone immediately and called my mom's cell phone number. I didn't memorize my dad's number at that age. My mom picked up the phone, likely under the influence of a few glasses of wine, and then I told her that there's someone at the door asking to come in. This comment likely sobered her up instantly, as I remember her tone shifted dramatically, and she sounded much louder and more concerned. She asked me a few questions. Firstly, if I had answered the man or at all made him aware that I was home, and I told the truth and said yes. I asked who it was. My mom's tone grew more and more concerned. She asked me if for
Mom is smart, dude.
any reason someone knew I was there by myself, and I immediately thought of the pizza guy. I told her that the pizza guy asked if I were here alone, and around this time, the doorbell rang 2 more times. I told my mom in a panic, expressing that the guy would not leave. My mom told me to stay put in their room and keep the bedroom door locked. She said they were calling the police. My mom kept me on the line with her on her phone while they called the police using my dad's phone. They had to leave the restaurant they were in to go outside to better be able to communicate. It was a summer night. The windows were...
How far were they? Because if I'm out at a restaurant and I'm within the city limits, I'm going home to help my kid. And they may call the cops. You know the cops are going to take at least like 5 minutes, right? 10 minutes. Sometimes their response time can be like 15 to 20 minutes. That's why I have guns. Because even in emergencies, they can take a while.
all cracked open to let some air into the house, and through my parents'
All calibers are faster than dialing 911.
window, I heard the gate on one side of the house leading to the backyard opening.
Oh,
It
hell
opened
no.
in a very discreet, gentle sounding way. I told this to my mom, and she kept telling me to just stay quiet, stay in their room, and keep the lights off. I said quietly into the phone, "What if he tries getting in through the den window?" My mom would tell me to just stop talking and wait for the police. She would continue talking into the phone, feeding me updates from the police and their ETA, reminding me also to not talk. I was starting to calm down just a bit when I heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps downstairs.
Oh.
Footsteps of someone inside the house, wandering around. I whispered this in a panic to my mom, and I heard her scream something into the other phone to the police. Probably something along the lines of, "The man is inside the house, hurry up." My mom told me to hide under the bed.
Told you cops take time. Get a gun. I know a lot of people, I don't want my kid to be able to grab a gun, but shut the fuck up. Shut up.
And wait there. For my
It's
12-year-old
cause of
self,
shit. It's cause of shit like this, where your kid might die because he doesn't have access to a gun. That's why you teach your kid the firearm safety and everything when they're like 4, 5.
it was the most horrific, unreal moment of my life. The only thing keeping me feeling relatively protected was the tiny little lock on my parents' bedroom door. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. The
Ugh.
stairs are by my sister and I's bedroom down the hall. My parents' bedroom is further down. The footsteps faded for a few moments, I'm assuming as the intruder went into our bedrooms, searching. My mom told me the police would force their way in and to not move until they were inside. I heard the footsteps in the hallway coming down this way until they got to the bedroom door, and then they tried pressing down the doorknob only to find it locked. They tried a few times, as if that would somehow magically unlock the door.
Hell no.
Then there was a light knocking on the door, but the person on the other side didn't speak a word. They tried the doorknob one more time before I heard the footsteps walk back down the hallway, then down the stairs, and they faded away deeper into the house. I did my best not to burst out into tears the entire time. I didn't even whisper anything into the phone because I was too scared to make the slightest sound.
Let me guess. He left before the cops arrived.
My mom finally told me the police were there, but to still stay put. I was expecting to hear them kick down the door, but instead, I just rather suddenly heard multiple heavy footsteps and a man shouting my name, identifying himself as a police officer. I heard them coming up the stairs, and my mom gave me permission to answer them and unlock the door. There were 2 officers upstairs when I opened the door, and then 2 more downstairs. They didn't have to kick down the front door because the back door was left completely ajar. The back sliding window was also slid completely open, which was the obvious original entry point. I had to talk with the police and tell them everything that happened, including my
I knew it. He was gonna be gone like the wind. That's why you put a 9 or a shotgun shell in them. They won't be gone like the. Well, they will be gone in a different way.
suspicion of the pizza guy.
I like to make sure they can't go rob somebody else or harm somebody else. Because if you break into somebody's property, you are asking to die.
With my parents listening in on the
I'm just
phone.
saying.
They were en route home, and by the time they got back, there were only 2 police officers still at the house. With the police report including a note of the pizza guy, they said they'd do their investigation. My parents brought me to Gianni's Pizzeria the next night and asked me to point the guy out if I saw him. When I didn't see him, they asked the manager which employee matched the description of the delivery guy I described. He said that would be Phil, who was currently out doing a delivery. After explaining the whole scenario, he said there's no way that would be Phil and asked us to leave the premises. Long story short, my parents made a big scene in the pizzeria, and they said they would never give them our business again. We went to the car.
They don't give a fuck. They don't care. We're never coming here again. Okay, we'll find another customer. We don't care.
and waited in the parking lot. We waited for almost an hour.
So for any of you that get pissed at somebody and say, I'm not going to come back, they don't give a shit. They really don't. I've dealt with it so many times. I used to work in retail. We don't give a shit. We're going to get another customer.
And when he never showed up, we left. My parents thought it was because the manager called or texted the employee, which caused him not to show back up.
Probably.
But who knows? My parents contacted a few lawyers who ultimately didn't take the case due to a lack of solid evidence, stating it would be a waste of time, basically. Ultimately, we never did go back to that pizzeria, and it wasn't for a long while after that that my parents felt safe leaving me home alone again, simply because of this incident. Ultimately, I do think it was the pizza guy, or at least someone associated with him, because who else would have known that I was home alone that night?
I mean, could be. I mean, that doesn't sound too crazy. You have a friend get a job at a pizzeria delivering pizzas. Like, hey, bro, let me know if people are home alone. I'll come snatch their shit. It's the perfect. It's perfect. Damn, that's actually genius. That's genius. Because it's not a weird question for a pizza guy. If somebody's gonna ask you, are you alone? From a pizza guy, that's not very weird. Because they're delivering your food, they're making small talk. It's not really weird. It's actually genius. Become a pizza guy to plan heists.
When I was a teenager, my
I
parents
like
and
my
I
new
moved from
knife.
California to a secluded area in North Idaho.
I like it.
My parents had just retired and built their dream home deep in the backcountry. We had no neighbors in sight, just forest. Endless, dense forest that backed right up to national parklands and paper mill logging grounds. The house was massive. 2 stories, a gym, a full bar and pool room, and a legit movie theater set up in the basement. It felt like the kind of house people dream of. Remote, quiet, perfect. Or so it seemed. I was dating my high school girlfriend at the time. One night, while my parents were out on a date downtown, I invited her over to hang out and watch a movie. We were completely alone. I cracked open a beer. I was underage, but figured no one would care, and we headed down to the movie room to watch Gladiator. Everything started out normal.
I've never seen Gladiator. I've never seen it. Same thing. I've never seen. Shit. What is it? I've probably seen it when I was a kid and just don't remember. But Braveheart. I probably saw that, just don't remember it. Twister. Never seen Twister. Yeah.
But somewhere around the midpoint of the movie, maybe close to midnight, something switched in me.
The original Roadhouse. Haven't seen that.
Out of nowhere, I was
That's
overwhelmed
before my time, so I kind of have an excuse.
with this fight or flight feeling. It was like my body sensed something my brain couldn't see. My heart was pounding, and I kept glancing at the uncovered windows behind us that looked out into the pitch black woods. I didn't want to freak out my girlfriend, so I kept it to myself.
At nighttime, I have to have my blinds closed. I'm really, I don't like having my windows to where somebody can look in at me. I just don't like that. I don't. It's like when I'm driving through my neighborhood to get here, get home. I look over and I see one of my neighbors' windows just completely clear. I can see in their house. I'm just like, I don't like that, man. It's strange.
In fact, things got a little heated between us during the movie. But the whole time, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I didn't know from where, but I knew. After the movie ended, I walked her upstairs and out to her car. The house was dead quiet again. She drove off, and I turned to go back inside, when I remembered I'd left the bar, pool room, and movie room lights on. So I went back downstairs. I turned off the lights in the movie room first, then paused. My eyes drifted to the large window that looked into the backyard, and that's when I saw him. Man, he looked homeless. Wild hair,
Oh,
filthy clothes.
hell
But
no.
what froze me in place was his expression. He had the biggest, creepiest smile I've ever seen, with wide, staring eyes that
That's
looked
freaky as
absolutely
shit.
deranged. And in his hand was a knife. He was gently tapping it on the glass over and over. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. I slowly backed away and went to the bar room to shut off the rest of the lights. That room has a sliding glass door that also faces the woods. I flipped the switch and watched in horror as the man calmly walked from the window to the door, still smiling, still staring. At this point, we were less than a foot apart, just the glass between us. He didn't try to get in. He didn't move at all. He just watched me. I went upstairs without a word. Right then, my parents were walking through the door. I told them I think I need to go to the psych ward or something. I swear, I just saw a guy with a knife watching me outside. My mom went pale. My dad's eyes narrowed, and without a word, he went to the gun safe, grabbed his rifle, and stormed out to check the property. I asked my mom what was going on, and she said there have been a few break-ins in the area. A guy wandering through the woods trying to get into homes. The description you gave matches exactly. The police were called, but they didn't find anything. No signs of entry, no footprints, just cold black woods. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. That night, as I tried to sleep, I could hear a light tapping sound beneath me. My bedroom was on the second floor, directly above the movie room. It sounded like metal gently tapping glass. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. The tapping lasted for hours. This happened night after night for weeks. Sometimes it would stop. Sometimes I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and hear
Is this creepy fuck really outside his window for hours with a knife? No way. No way.
Again, I even thought I heard footsteps on the roof one night. I checked the windows, but I never saw anyone. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being stalked, watched. Then winter came. My parents had to go out of town for a few days, but they were still nervous about what had happened. Before they left, they gave me a shotgun just in case. We also had a big Rottweiler, sweetest dog you'd ever meet and totally silent, unless
I got Rottweilers myself. I love Rottweilers. Got my pistol right there. I got an AR-15 nearby, shotgun nearby, dogs nearby. I wouldn't do it.
something was really there. One night while I was home alone, I heard slow, crunching footsteps in the snow outside, heavy and deliberate. The dog stood up, ears perked, and began growling low and deep at the front door. Then barking, ferocious, loud, and non-stop. He only ever did that when he saw something real. I stayed silent. I didn't want whoever was out there to know I was home. I didn't move. Then came the knock. Slow, hollow,
When you hear that knock, he'll go away.
and taunting. I didn't answer. I slept with the shotgun next to me that night. Door locked, blinds drawn, dog at my feet. The next morning, I went outside and saw something that made my stomach drop. Footprints. Fresh human footprints circled the entire house. They stopped at every single window, like someone was trying to look in, searching for me. I followed the prints around the property.
Y'all better be careful who you do this shit to. If you stalk somebody's house in the middle of nowhere, they can do your ass in and bury you and nobody will know. So you want to do that creepy bullshit on somebody's land? Bye-bye.
And they eventually led into the
I know some people that would love to have the honor.
forest. I followed them maybe half a mile before they started to zigzag,
Don't fuck with the wrong one.
veer off, loop back, like whoever made them was trying to throw me off their trail. I turned back. Something told me it was a bad idea to keep going. That night, the tapping came back, louder this time. I knew it was him.
You gotta shoot his ass just for keeping you awake. I'm sorry, you're not letting me sleep. I gotta shoot you.
To my door, grabbed my shotgun, and stepped onto the second-story deck. I flipped on the fog lights that illuminated the backyard. There he was.
He said
Same
I
man,
he
same
said I grabbed that motherfucker.
smile, and same dead eyes. He was holding the knife again, staring directly at me like he could see through me. I raised
Yeah, you raise that knife at me, I rack my shit. The fuck you gonna do?
the shotgun and shouted, "If you don't leave, I'll put one right through you." He didn't move or flinch, just stared, unblinking, grinning.
Hell no, you
I
gotta shoot his ass now. Hell no. That motherfucker is sinister. You got a shotgun pointed at you and you don't care? Oh, hell no. I get a shotgun pointed at me. I'm like, okay, I'm out. Nope.
fired a warning shot into the air, and that finally got a reaction. He staggered a bit, then slowly backed into the woods, still facing me. That's when I decided to unleash the dog. I sprinted downstairs, threw open the sliding door, and let him loose. He bolted into the forest like a black missile, barking and snarling. I'd never seen him that aggressive. He had a shock collar, so he couldn't go far, but I like to think he chased that guy off for good.
You probably scared the fuck out of him.
Because after that
You
night,
gotta call them on their bluff, bro. They'll sit there with a knife. But if you match their craze, you grab that motherfucking shotgun, let that dog out, I'm like, oh shit.
I never saw him
You gotta
again.
match people's crazy. That's all you gotta do. Plus, it's your property, so you can shoot his ass and who cares?
This happened in March of 2022 during spring break. I was in my second year of college.
Okay.
My friends and I, 6 of us total, decided to rent a cabin out in South Carolina for a few days, just to get away from everything. No school, no
South
stress,
Carolina?
no
Okay.
phones. It was supposed to be one of those quiet trips where you drink too much, play music too loud, and maybe make some memories you'll laugh about later.
Am I the only person that doesn't like the feeling of being drunk? I don't like it. I don't like it. I drink beer, but I drink light beer. I drink Yingling light lager. I'll drink a normal beer too, like Budweiser and stuff, but I don't like getting drunk. When I'm drunk, I just get tired. I don't like that. I don't like getting tired. Like, I'll get drunk at like 10 o'clock and I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep yet. I don't like it. I prefer a cigar.
There were 4 of us guys, me, Matt, Chris, and Tyler, and 2 girls, Jess and Sarah. We'd all been close since freshman year. The cabin we picked was stupid cheap for its size. 2 stories, a wraparound porch, 2 bathrooms, and listed as being on private land near a lake. It was way out there.
Ooh, finna do me some fishing.
No towns for miles, surrounded by forest. The guy who owned it had
South Carolina, so it's probably got striped bass. Striped bass. Maybe some white bass?
a thick accent and seemed kind of off when we talked to him on the phone. All he said was, "Just don't go wandering too deep into the woods. Some old stuff back there. Wells, busted fences, snakes. You don't want to get turned around." We laughed about it, thought he was just trying to add some spooky southern charm to the trip. But when we got there,
No,
it wasn't fun.
bro, y'all gotta listen to people, man. That's what bothers me is how young I am and people my age are stupid as shit. I know that's random as shit for me to say, but people are stupid, man. I thought he was just joking with it. No, he's being real. Like, he knows y'all aren't from around here. And he telling you, don't fuck around. Because woods are some shit. You get bit by a rattlesnake in the woods, what you gonna do? Yeah, 15 minutes. I mean, he's legit trying to help y'all out.
The drive took forever. GPS gave out an hour before we arrived. The last part of the road was just dirt and gravel, barely wide enough for one car. Trees got thicker the closer we got.
But what I was saying is people my age are stupid, but I've been pretty mentally mature since I was like a teenager. So, which is unfortunate because all of my friends were goofy and stupid and I was not. I was the serious guy, just
When we finally saw the cabin, we all kind of went quiet.
I'm
It didn't
glad I wasn't a
look
goofy
like
teenager though. I didn't do dumb shit. Dumb shit can end up bad.
the pictures. It was older and dirtier. The windows were dusty, and a few of the shutters were hanging off by the hinges. There was this faint smell outside, like old garbage and wet wood. We brushed it
Yep.
off and made jokes, said it just added character. We unloaded, claimed rooms, and started drinking by 7 p.m. The first night was fun. We grilled
That's late.
outside, cranked music from a Bluetooth speaker, and played some card games. By 11, it got
It's funny when you're an adult, you can drink whenever the hell you want. Doesn't matter. I typically, if it's a beer or something, I'll drink a beer at lunch at like 11 o'clock. I don't care. Liquor, I try to wait till afternoon. I haven't had liquor in a long time. But yeah, dude, you can, man, all the shit we do, all the responsibilities we got, we can drink whenever the fuck we want.
cold, so we moved inside. That's when I noticed how dark the woods were. I don't mean just nighttime dark. I mean complete blackness.
Pitch black. If y'all have never been in pitch black, I live in a big city, so there's a lot of light. There's light pollution. However, my grandparents lived in Virginia, in rural Virginia, pitch black. And there's the moon. You still can't see. You still cannot see. It is insane. But at the same time, it's beautiful because when you don't have a lot of light pollution, you can see all the stars in the sky. You can see all of them. But when it is pitch black, if you don't have a flashlight or some kind of, you are dead. I mean, dude, it is dark. It scared the hell out of me as a kid.
The porch lights barely lit up more than a few feet, and the trees were so dense it
Yeah,
felt like they were pressing in from all sides.
that's real. That is real. Even if you got some like nice LEDs outside, dude, they don't light up shit. It is crazy.
No bugs, no wind, just total heavy silence. We ended up crashing
Hmm.
around 2 a.m. I had one of the rooms on the ground floor, right next to the kitchen.
I used to
Small
be scared of that, dude, because I'm a city slicker. So whenever I would visit my grandparents when I was younger, whenever I would go to sleep, dude, I'd be so freaked out. Not really, because I'd be listening to YouTube or something, so I'd be okay. But dude, it was just so eerie for me, especially when I was like sleeping in the basement there. Because Virginia, you have real basements. In Florida, you don't got basements. Um, but yeah, dude, it was the darkness will teach you some shit.
and just a bed and a window facing the woods. At around 4:15, I woke up. No reason, just wide awake like someone had poked me. I laid there for a second, heart beating fast. Then I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. I thought it was the heater at first, but then it repeated. Steady, non-metallic, non-mechanical. It sounded like fingers. I looked at the window,
What the hell?
and there was a man standing there. He was pressed up against the glass, face almost touching it.
Oh, your ass is getting
Pale
shot.
skin, wild hair, no shirt, just staring in. His mouth
Y'all need to bring guns wherever you go. Wherever you go. And if you are under the age of 21, you can still have a hand. You can't purchase. You can have a handgun. Like if you're driving, if you have your handgun in a holster in your center console, your glove compartment, you're good. Um, yeah, you can have a gun. Um, bring it with you everywhere. When I was under 21, I would just keep it in the glove box, holstered. Um, I still do. That's still how I do it when I'm driving. But yeah, I'm damn, pretty much mid-20s now, so I carry when I'm outside the car. But yeah, when you're under 21, you can still have it in the car, contained, and then whenever you get to the log cabin, you can have it in there. Have a gun. Have a gun. Very important.
Mouth hung slightly open, like he was breathing
In the ammo you use, very important.
through it. His eyes were wide. He didn't blink.
I can give y'all
He didn't
details
move.
if you want.
He just stood there and tapped, soft and slow, like he was trying to tease me. I felt like my body locked up. Then the tapping got a little faster. I whispered for Matt, who was sleeping on the couch outside my room. I said his name again, louder. He woke up groggy and asked what I wanted. I just pointed. He looked over, saw the man, and immediately jumped up, knocking over the coffee table. That must have scared the guy off, because by the time Matt turned the porch light on and ran outside, he was gone. We all got up. The girls were terrified. Tyler tried to convince everyone it was just some drunk local messing with us. Chris said maybe it was a hunter who got lost, but I knew it was that guy watching me. He wasn't lost. We blocked the doors, moved the couch in front of the big living room window, and took turns staying awake for a few hours. Nothing else happened that night. The next morning, we went outside. There were footprints, bare human footprints circling the entire cabin. They stopped at every window, every single one, even the little one above the upstairs shower. That should have been it. We should have left, but we didn't. We were dumb and stubborn, and we stayed. Night 2 started the same. Drinks, music, fire pit, but the energy was different.
I don't know why it drives me crazy when people don't have guns. I understand some of the... No, this is South Carolina. Yeah, you can have a gun. I was gonna say, some of these stories are probably outside of America, and that makes sense. You can't have a gun, whatever. But if you are an American and you don't have a gun, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? I don't like guns. How much do you value your life? Better yet, if you're a parent, how much do you value your child's life? Get a gun. Just one. Shotgun. Get one gun. And if you kind of start to like guns, shotgun, semi-automatic rifle, handgun. That's it. That's all you need.
Everyone kept glancing at the woods. Jess didn't
Because so
drink,
many of these stories could be solved with a gun.
and Chris kept his hunting knife on his belt. When we finally went inside, we locked every window and double-checked the doors. Around 3:30 a.m., Matt went to the kitchen for water. He stopped in the hallway and called my name. I got up and saw him standing there, pointing. There was someone in the kitchen, again from before, but this time he was inside, naked. His back was to us, covered in long, raw-looking scratches. He was standing in front of the fridge, staring at it like he didn't know what it was.
What?
He made this slow, swaying motion like he was rocking on his feet. Matt didn't speak. He just backed up. We all gathered silently at the hallway entrance. I had a pocket knife. Sarah had the fire poker. Chris grabbed one of the chair legs he'd snapped earlier, trying to be funny. We turned on the light, and the man was gone. The back door was wide open. But it wasn't broken. It wasn't forced. It was just open.
Are you serious? Who left that bitch open?
No one argued. We packed only the basics: wallets, keys, phones, and drove through the woods until we had enough signal to call the sheriff. When we met the deputy at a diner off the highway, he didn't look surprised at all. He asked if anyone was hurt, then said, "Yeah, we've had some trouble with folks squatting up in those woods. Not always right in the head." We tried to explain it wasn't just some homeless guy. This man watched us, came back 2 nights in a row, and had a key or somehow got inside. The deputy just nodded like he'd heard it before. When we mentioned the owner, his face almost implied that he knew the guy. The listing disappeared a few days later, completely wiped from every rental site. We never got answers, never got a call. We never even got our deposit back. But that face,
Damn.
the way he looked at me through the window, I still see it sometimes when I wake up at night. We don't talk about that trip much anymore. But as far as I know, none of us have been back to South Carolina since.
Ain't nothing wrong with South Carolina. It's just that creepy bitch. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy, man. Is this video 40 minutes? Damn. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all take care, stay safe. I'm out. Toodaloo.